Hey, everybody. Welcome to another How to Succeed podcast. I'm your host, Mike Montague, and this is the show that helps you get to the top and stay there. This week, we are talking about how to unlock your full potential. So the following podcast is copyrighted by Sandler Systems, LLC, and protected by U.S. copyright laws. Sandler is the worldwide leader in sales, management, and customer service training. You can find more information at sandler.com. My guest here is Meg Price. She is from Noa Coach, the co-founder and director over there. It is an AI designed to help you reach your full potential and help you coach along the way. So more information at noacoach.com. And here we go. We'll figure out how to succeed at unlocking your full potential. All right, Meg, tell me a little bit about Noa Coach and how we got here with AI coaching.
Perfect. Will do. Thank you, Mike. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. How did we get here? Really good question, because this has been 3 years in the making for me and my co-founder and team. I have a background in human resources, do a lot of coaching, have done a lot of work in the last, I'm going to say 20 years in really helping people succeed through understanding themselves, their brains, emotional intelligence, all that sort of thing. But COVID hit. And as you can tell from the accent, I'm from Australia. I think I'm in a city in Australia that was quite well famous for our lockdowns. And one Melbourne lockdown, I went for a walk with one of our co-founders, and we were lamenting about the fact that we've got more people stressed than ever before. And people were stressed before COVID, but in COVID, of course, we had more people stressed. We had people working from home. Things weren't going well. We were asked to do a lot of coaching. We couldn't see all the clients that we were asked. But then we also had this problem that companies were trying to put the brakes on spending. And they said, look, we've got all these people that are stressed. We've got executives, managers, sales guys. All these people are stressed, but we can't provide them all one-on-one coaching. It's just too expensive. And I've always said with coaching, you get to coach what I call the rainmakers, the ones that people go, oh yeah, put the money in, this guy's great, come on, let's coach them. Or I coach the troublemakers, the ones where they go, this guy's, yeah, can you coach him out? Can you do something? But there's this vast group of most of us in the middle that don't get one-on-one coaching, that are in really high pressure environments and get a lot of stress. And so on our walk, we were saying, could we provide something that looked after the vast majority of us that are feeling stress? And so we started working on this 3 years ago. Well, we've only got more stress since we went back to work. We've got more isolated environments. We've got all sorts of things. So it has just been this work in progress that we wanted to come up with something that was always there, that was scalable to the whole population in the business, and actually worked. And so
so let's talk about that with AI, because I want to jump into the AI part here quickly. Is I feel like this is going to be new for a lot of people, and I think there are advantages and disadvantages of talking with a robot instead of a human. Can you tell us what some of those advantages and disadvantages are?
Yeah, it was
Maybe
really
common
interesting.
misconceptions.
Oh, absolutely. It was really interesting because when we started 3 years ago, there wasn't a lot of talk about AI. There was no chat GPT. There was no, the last 6 months hadn't happened. So we went out and thought, well, if we're going to make this scalable thing that's going to help people, we'll need AI. And I had the same thing. I was like, is somebody really going to talk to like a chatbot? Like if I think about chatbots for marketing and stuff, am I really going to talk to a chatbot? Because it sounds like a great idea, but I'm studying in this area, and so we did a bit of research. Do you know what we found out? And there's a few different studies out there, and I can lead you to them, but the research that came out from Oracle, Future of Work, and some of the independent studies by apps found that it's something like 3 out of 4 people would actually rather talk to a chatbot related to mental health issues than their manager. 2 out of 3 would rather speak to a chatbot than their general physician, their doctor, in terms of mental health issues, because we've still got this hidden thing about stress. We're all stressed, we're all feeling it, we've all got mental health issues, but we better not talk about it. So we started finding this research that people were actually quite happy to chat to a chatbot because it was judgment free. It's one of those things that you can kind of sometimes chat to yourself and chat yourself out of a bad situation, but other times you just ruminate and you can't get out of it. Whereas if you chat to something, even a chatbot, what we find with the research is people go, actually, I worked through that. They kind of coach themselves, but they've had something else there guiding them with the questions. So that really amazed me. And as a human coach, I was really interested in that whole dynamic. So
so let's jump into it a little bit more specifically and talk about our attitude portion here of what is the ideal attitude for maybe, looking at an AI coach to help you unlock your full potential versus a human. I've shared a few things with you already when we talked, is that I think there are situations that to me are obviously better with AI, like you said, confidential issues, things where you want to ask the same thing over and over again. And sometimes, your spouse or your coworker is sick of hearing about your thing, but it's still an issue for you. Right. And robots can be a lot more patient than humans sometimes. And then there are other times where we do need maybe that human connection. We need empathy more than we need advice or a solution or talking it out. And where I could see that you would still probably want to, go talk to a professional about that or urgent things and stuff too. So can you help us sort that out a little bit?
Absolutely. I think like anything, there's a time and a place for everything. There's no perfect solution between AI and human. And part of what I'm studying is what happens to us in that interaction with an AI versus an interaction with a person. And I think where the AI is useful, and it doesn't replace people. I think everybody said this in AI and some of your previous podcasts. It's not about AI replacing jobs. It's people that use AI will replace people that don't. So to me, it's using AI to help us, but not replace humans. So if I'm, and we do a lot of our coaching in Noa is around well-being. So if I've got to go into a meeting, I've got to go into a sales meeting, I'm selling Noa, but I've just had some really bad news, but I've got to get my head in the game. I may not have a person there to just chat to, just to get myself ready for that moment. So Noa can help in the moment at convenient times, sometimes when the person's not there. I think I shared with you the story, this guy who gave me a great story. He said, look, I use Noa in the moment, but what I've really enjoyed is when I get home and I'm in my garage, I actually have a chat to Noa about some of the stress I'm handling at work so that I leave it before I walk in the house, because I want to be the father and the partner that I want to be when I walk in the house. So he uses it in that way. We will, if you chat to Noa and you started talking about something that's fairly deep and serious, Noa's an AI, and Noa's going to say, I'm an AI and I think you need to speak to a human. Because it doesn't have, it has a level of emotional support, but as you say, it doesn't have that true empathy that at times we really need. But at other times, we just need to get from, that threat state, can't think, can't be curious, to, okay, I can work through that issue. I can keep moving today.
Now, as we go to the behavior portion of our discussion, I think there's two interesting questions for me here. I'll let you handle them in which order. The first one is, I think you have to kind of know what your problem is, maybe, or at least that you're having a problem in order to use Noa. I feel like that maybe you can help me out on how we get around that. But sometimes other humans, we can't read the label from inside the bottle. So we need other people or coaches or managers or support system to say like, hey man, you're really struggling. Like you should talk to somebody, or human. Or I've also found on the flip side that like our pain funnel questions in Sandler are psychology based. They're pretty generic questions that you can ask everybody, and it helps them get to the root of the issue. And there are systemized things that really help emotionally. And I think that's interesting. So again, it's sort of, pluses and minuses here for me, but let's talk about how we know to do the right thing at the right time. And how does Noah know what to ask us the right way at the right time?
Yeah. And it's a really good question. And Noah's, and that's, I guess, how it's developed organically, as we've built in 5 features of Noah, because there wasn't a one solution. You can't sort of get an AI and all of this to match a person. So we built a number of solutions that work a bit like a jigsaw to help people in the moment there's different things you need. We've even got a human connection forum that people can join and just talk if they want to talk to a human. But the AI itself gets to know you, and we've built it on the last 3 years through my co-founders got the AI company. So we built it on coaching, and I always say the problem's not the problem. The first time I speak to you about the problem, it's not the problem. So we've built Noah to ask you, tell me what's going on. But Noah will then go, okay, so what's really happening. But Noah will ask you that in different ways, just like a human coach will. So that 3 years, that has been our coaching. My coaching sessions and all the sorts of coaching questions have been put in to develop this AI. And again, it'll start to get to know you, and it'll go, okay, Mike, you're back. How did it go yesterday with that meeting, and start to talk to you in that way. So yeah, it's pretty clever. Again, it's not a human, but it's pretty clever.
Yeah. And then let's talk about how some of maybe those 5 different features and what you would use Noah for, or how you would know that you need to use it.
Yeah. So I think importantly for us is the AI is a piece. There are, of the 5 features, 2 of the pieces are actually AI. There's the AI Destress coach, and there's also the AI advice, because people, they like a chat GPT. They want advice on well-being, productivity, focus. So we needed to include that too. But actually what's really important in Noah is we've got a section called challenges. And this is through the neuroscience research of saying, how do we build healthy habits in tiny little ways each week that's actually just going to help my well-being, so that I can focus, so I can be more successful. So, and then there's the human community as well, because sometimes you just want to get onto, it's a bit like a LinkedIn, but just for well-being and coaching, where you can just say, look, I just want some advice on sleep. Who's got some good ideas or good podcasts? Have you heard a great podcast that's been done on this? And people can interact and do that. So yeah, it's an AI coach, but really AI is 2 pieces of the puzzle that to me is all the little important things that help you build healthy habits.
And that takes us in a perfect transition here to technique. And how does talking about your problem with an AI actually help you de-stress?
Yes. So a lot of this research came out of people like Ethan Kross, who wrote a book called Chatter, which is a great book, which just talks about how we talk to ourselves, how we ruminate, and how being able to talk again doesn't always need to be a person. If I can just get off my chest, okay, this is what's happening. I know the answers in here, because normally this whole neuroscience state is that if I've got really stressed, or if I've had a bad day or anything, I've gone into threat mode, I can't think straight. And all we're trying to do by talking to someone or something is help get that thinking back on, reconnect with this front part of our brain so that we can think and be creative. So actually talking to an AI, research shows us that does help us do that. It gets us out of that limbic stress state back into, I can find the answers. So that's kind of.
I feel like most people know where they want to go. They're just afraid to do it anyway.
I think probably we do, but I think that our lives are just so hectic at the moment. We just often get ourselves stuck. To be honest, it's it's just busy, it's hectic, and we're running so fast that we don't have time to think or get curious or get creative. And so to me, that's part of that technique, is to say, how am I going to look after myself and take time out? And that time might be a few minutes a day. I'm not trying to make anybody's lives more difficult, but if a few minutes a day help me be more creative and find more focus, it might be worth it.
Last question here is, I wanted to know more about these challenges. I got to experience it, and there is a 7-day free trial at noacoach.com if you want to go check it out. Can you talk to us about why you chose those challenges, and what are the skills and habits that you're trying to build for unlocking your full potential?
So we unlock each month. There's a monthly subscription to Noa, and each month we unlock, I think it's about 6 challenges for the month. So that because some people are going to look at some and go, "Ugh, I'm not going to do that," and some people love others. So we have looked for the specific things that we know have got research that helps people's well-being, that are easy to do, that are small changes. We're not asking people, again, they don't have time to go off and do something that's going to take 2 hours, and they're not going to change their habits like that. So they're simple things. They can be simple things like just learning to breathe properly. We know some of the research of that. It's learning to get outside, make sure that you go out for a walk, or just there's simple little habits which sound really simple, but actually when we do them, the research shows they help improve our well-being. So it's picking one of those a week and giving it a go, and doing it with peers, doing it with family, doing it with colleagues. And a lot of people, I find, then want to dig deeper into, actually, let me find out more about that. That what I want to unlock with challenges is not just your well-being, but unlock some curiosity about how can I improve my well-being here.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's kind of what I did during the pandemic myself, was start doing a bunch of different challenges. So whether it was like getting a Fitbit and a step challenge, or digital detox, or a social media, I just changed all my passwords for 30 days into something I couldn't remember, and just took a little social media time out, and just trying different things like that. Really good. Really good. LinkedIn is pretty much the only one that I've turned back on and reset the password for. So that's pretty good. And I felt a lot better too in doing all that. And I think it did unlock this thing of just going on little missions and trying new things for a while. And if they stick and I love it, great. If I try it and I go, it didn't really do anything, I'll just be honest. The grounding is the one that didn't do anything to me. Have you heard about that, where you put your feet in the grass, bare feet in the grass, and touch plants, and try to ground yourself with the earth? It was fun. It was nice. I just didn't feel like it really did anything to change how
and that's why I think you need a few different things, because everybody is, enjoys different things. So we hope that by unlocking 6 challenges each month, there's enough there that, if you pick one, and we're coming into the app, we're going to have just a well-being assessment, so that people can check each month, how is my well-being this month? How is it next month? Have I improved it? How has Noa helped? So, again, just find things. Some people, it'll be reminders. They'll go, look, I knew, I've heard about that detox. I should do that stuff. Even if it's a reminder and it just challenges them to do it this month, or they work with each other, that's okay too.
I like the idea of assessment and checking in for sure. Once again, we're talking with Meg Price, co-founder of NoaCoach.com. Go to Noa Coach AI coaching for you or your teams. Like you said, it's built to scale here for people. So certainly if you're in that kind of environment and you got a lot of people that need a lot of help, it's a great way to get started. Now, Meg, I wanted to get to know you a little bit better and just ask you, how do you define success at this point in your career?
Oh, I think success, to me, there's 2 words that come to mind. I'm not sure how these words gel together, but the 2 words that come to mind is curiosity I think success and successful people are really curious, but I think that's also matched with what I call a contentment. If I'm feeling successful in the moment, I feel like I'm curious, but I'm content. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like that. I think those are two ideal states of human beings. Yeah. My words are kind of like playful and I think content too would be the other top one for me. And I feel like those two go together in different ways. Now, was there a failure you're most proud of along the way, or a particularly hard lesson learned that you had to get over in order to be successful?
Oh, I think the failure that I regularly do, I should admit that I just keep doing it. You should learn, shouldn't you? My regular failure is when I get attached to an idea, a thing, and believe that's it. And I think that because that takes me away from the curiosity bit, because I get to, no, this is the way we're going to do something. And I think, I really have to remind myself, hey, have I got a little bit fixed and attached to something here, or is there another way to see it? Have I learned from that failure? Yes. Have I stopped doing it? No.
Yeah.
But I hope I do it less.
Well, I think that's a really challenging one, because habits, like you were talking about earlier, great habits can help you lock in and level up. But also then when you get to the next level, you got to change your habits again, right?
Yeah.
It's otherwise you're just stop growing and you're all habits and automation, and there's no growth and learning. So that's a great one. Last question. Do you have a favorite quote, motto, or mantra?
I guess the favorite one of mine, and I'm going to misquote this, and I read recently, so I believe the quote is from Maya Angelou, but I have been told that this may not be from her, but everybody attributes it to her, so I'm going to, and it's the quote about I've learned that people forget what you said, and people will forget what you did, but they don't forget how you make them feel. And I think, to me, and having spent, decades working in well-being and helping people thrive and flourish, that's the critical bit, because when we feel good, we make other people feel good. And I sort of love and live by that. Leave people feeling good.
I think that is a great one. And I think it actually is Maya Angelou on that one. It's usually Maya Angelou, Martin Luther King, or Winston Churchill, Abraham Lincoln. One of those four said everything.
Yeah,
but that
exactly.
I think really was mine. All right. Any final thoughts here? Asks or gives for the audience here on Noa Coach? I mentioned the 7-day free trial, but anything else you want to add?
There's a 7-day free trial, but if people listening to the podcast, we also have a 30-day free trial. So on the website there, you can actually go in and just fill out the form. But I mentioned that this podcast, and I'm absolutely happy for anybody to have a longer trial, because I think 7 days often you just don't have time to get into it. So yeah, reach out through the website, mention that you listened here, and I said I'd give you a 30-day trial, and the 30-day trial is yours.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. Meg Price, Noa Coach, NOACoach.com for more information. And for more information on Sandler, go to Sandler.com. A ton of free resources there. You can subscribe to the podcast, check out our blogs, white papers, there's books, and of course, local trainers near you. If you go to the Find a Training Center, you can find a location next to you, or if you have multiple locations in your big company, talk to our enterprise team and we will get you set up. Until next time, whatever you are, be a good one. Good luck, everybody.